override. So if I am an on-call person and for some reason I need to be at the doctor's office for an hour, so I can go to my manager or go to one of my peers and request them that can you cover on call for me. So within the PagerDuty, there is this really good feature where you can say, I want to get an override for an hour or 2 hours, so that while you cannot attend to the pages, somebody else takes over your on-call responsibilities. So that feature is automated. So that means if I am overriding or you are overriding my on-call for 2 hours, for those 2 hours, you will start getting the pages instead of me. So that's a very, very powerful feature from PagerDuty. The third big feature, which I found very interesting, is the ability to do analytics. And that means that I can look at the incident volume of my alerts on a daily basis, hourly basis, weekly basis, and I can actually establish a pattern if there's a service or there's a certain area which is alerting constantly. So by virtue of these analytics platform, we can quickly analyze that I have a web tier which constantly alerts from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. or, at a certain time, there's constantly, I get a spike of alerts for a certain service. And then I can go back and use this analytics data and work with my software development and engineering teams. And I can actually say that there might be a bug, there might be a code issue, there might be a infrastructure issue on our end, which causes a symptomatic pattern of alerts to repeat. So that's a very powerful feature where you can have analytics and intelligence from a tool which can actually let you spot a problem, which can be a short-term or a long-term problem, which normally is difficult to be seen. And in line with that analytics, the other part is if your company is doing a lot of incident management, change management, compliance, ITIL, PSIs, so you can actually show them the analytics or the behavior of ticket volume or incident volume, and say that I'm just again hypothetically going to use number, that the month of January we were at 300 tickets, and in the month of February we became 250, in the month of March we became 200. So you can show progression or track the progression or the productivity of the team by virtue of how much of incident volume, if it is increasing or decreasing. If it increases, that means either the teams are missing alerts or there's a real technical problem which causes the alert volumes to go up. And if it's decreasing, that means there's more stability on the platform. And then in line with that is that if the number of tickets or that are created as a result of PagerDuty goes up or down, we can track the ability of our software development lifecycle or change and management processes that we are actually addressing the alerts on time. One part of that analytics which I really like is that it also tells me what was the response time of alerts. So it will give me analytics that in the last 1 month, if I've defined an SLA that I need to establish an SLA with my on-call team that within 3 minutes the alert will be acknowledged. So we can get reports that in the last hour or last month or last day, how was our response time, for the meantime to detect. Same way, the same rules, we can get analytics and data for what was your response time to resolve. So those are very powerful tools from PagerDuty, which are very helpful.
Yeah. What are the things that you don't like about PagerDuty?
I think the one thing which most of these cloud-based tools I don't like is that at some point they become cost prohibitive. So they have a very interesting subscription-based model which is monthly, and but it's like the more the number of users, more your incurred cost will be, and so that becomes prohibitive as your team or as your usage pattern becomes more. You end up paying more. So that cost becomes prohibitive. That's the same for Opsgenie. That's the same for any other cloud service or a SaaS service, subscription as a service, where if you use more, you pay more. So that in specifically for alerting tool like PagerDuty, it can be a little cost prohibitive, because if your number of users is like 5,000 users who want to use PagerDuty, so that becomes a pretty large bill for any IT organization to manage. And so that comes out as a sticking point, many cases in terms of COGS. The other thing which is which I think can be improved for PagerDuty is the ability to have telemetry. And so telemetry by function is used by alerting tools like Prometheus and Grafana and tools like that. But PagerDuty would be nice to have something like I can spot a pattern based on certain signals based of repetition of alerts, where I can say that, oh, my memory usage of a certain tier, or my database usage, or my IOPS usage is increasing, and it is that telemetry or that intelligence is derived by the number of alerts you are getting from that tier, and then using that feedback loop to the teams in the form of an analytics would be nice, where it can say that I have seen a consistent increase in volume for memory for a certain tier, and that's what my analytics report shows. So that's something that that can be improved in PagerDuty.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit more about that. Have you looked at some of the tools that they offer in that area, and what do you think about the tools that they offer in that area?
So they have a very good integration with PagerDuty, which is with Slack, which is a good tool for communication. So it allows me to integrate PagerDuty pages with a Slack bot or a Slack channel. So that's the via APIs. So they've done a really good job on that area. But I think it'll be nice to see, like Opsgenie has a very good feature. I think it's called I forgot the name of that. What was it called? So what was it called? Transmorgifier, actually. Transmorgifier. So that basically it gives you contextual information about an incident and the timeline. So that's very visually clear from VictorOps. VictorOps is the company. I think they got bought by Splunk. So so that's something, that contextual information which allows an incident to be clearly and intelligently analyzed in a very short period of time, is something PagerDuty can actually work on as a feature hack. So that's something that I think PagerDuty has not done a good job in that area, but VictorOps has done a really good job in that area. And other than that, what else can I think of for PagerDuty as an improvement?
Well, let me ask on that a little bit. Maybe let me ask you a little bit about Opsgenie and VictorOps. What do you think about each of those platforms? Maybe start with Opsgenie. Have you kind of evaluated it seriously, and why have you always chosen PagerDuty over Opsgenie?
Yeah. So Opsgenie, yes, we evaluated at various places, at OneLogin and other startup companies I worked for. At Zoosk, we were evaluating Opsgenie. And the reason for Opsgenie was that it was not as expensive as PagerDuty. And So that was, I think, the primary motivation. We evaluated the